Our first story, more often than not, public transport drivers refuse to pick up persons with disability, leaving them stranded. Redwan Karim Osman explores what 43-year-old Elvis Kosi Alipui, a person living with disability, goes through anytime he's going to church.
Elvis starts his day with prayer. In his prayer, he tells God to safely guide and protect him wherever he goes and provide people to assist him move around.
Heavenly Father, we thank you this morning for another opportunity again. We are so glad that we are alive today. We are part of the alive people. From here, we go to wherever we are going and come back successful. We thank you. That is what we ask you. In Jesus' name, pray. Amen.
Amen.
Life should not be too hard for him because the 1992 Constitution of Ghana guarantees equality and non-discrimination. He is supposed to move freely without any hindrance. Unfortunately, what is written on paper is different from the reality. Today is a lucky day. On the first try, he gets a lorry to take him to his destination. Other days, he has to stay for hours, and of course, he has to pay for another seat to keep his wheelchair. Elvis shares with me his daily frustration.
If a person with disability stop them, especially a wheelchair user, stop them on the way, you are going to waste my time. Ballock people, a sound of rivers. When I take you, I will be contaminated my disability. So, major problem is the trotro.
Elvis Alipui lost his mobility at age 6 when he suffered polio. To him, it is even more traumatizing because he once walked, but now he has to rely on good Samaritans to take a stroll. He has to board another vehicle to get to his church at Mamobi. Since virtually all public transport are not disability friendly, he has to be carried to get into the vehicle. He has been a member of the church for many years, but authorities have not made the buildings disability friendly. Elvis says he is grateful for all the help people give him, but he would rather prefer to wheel himself independently.
I always say I will not feel whereby getting to the entrance people will carry me. You know, there's a say, it is a real that something that we carry, it's an object, and we carry dead body, we carry a human being when the situation is aggravation on the human life. My situation is not grave, it is a deformity, it is a challenge. Why should I allow to be carried?
Reverend Emmanuel Joe Annabelle is head pastor of Mamobi Assemblies of God Church. He admits the church needs to step up and make structures disability friendly.
As a church, we are trying to do all what we can to give a push to these disabled ones, someone like Elvis. We have in plan of projecting him to the next level of his career.
Elvis, however, believes a barrier-free and disability-friendly environment would help promote a more inclusive society and employment opportunities for people with disability. The story of Elvis Kosi Alipui is a true reflection of the current state of persons with disability in Ghana. Limited accessibility and discrimination continue to be the impediments. But with one more year to see the full implementation of the Disability Act, persons with disability in Ghana are calling on the government to do more to ameliorate their sufferings. Redwan Karim Osman, Choi News, Accra.
And I tell you what, a lot of organizations, a lot of us are guilty of this. Most of the places that we go to are not, I'm sad to say, disability friendly. When would it change? Now, Valentino Ninoy Norte on Sunday won the new patriotic primaries in the Koli Klote constituency. and will represent the New Patriotic Party in the 2016 parliamentary elections with an overwhelming 393 votes. Norte won the election that was marred with chaos and boycott by lawyer Philip Addison and Ni Ajay Terrier, with the latter picking the third position for a third-time opportunity after losing on 2 different occasions to the ruling NDC. Primaries in the Korle-Klottey constituency have been delayed due to petitions by some party executives and delegates within the constituency. Here are some sounds we picked from the constituency during the process.
We have said what we have to say. We have brought it to the notice of the security and everybody that these elections are not being held properly. It seems as if the security says they are here to do their work. So the election is going on because short of physically attacking things on, there's no way we can stop it.
Do you have your delegates there?
No, we have not been involved at all in this whole process. As you can see, we don't have our agents there. We're not part of the accreditation process. We don't even have accreditation. You see I'm standing here, no accreditation. We don't know what is going on. We don't even have polling agents there. The ballot papers, everything, we took no part. Meanwhile, we have had a meeting on Friday where we discussed all these things, an accreditation process, who was going to handle it, regional secretary and so on. The regional secretary obviously is angry with the whole process, so he himself even is not here. Now, these accreditation cards and observer cards and what have you have all been handled by one side. It's just one side, to the exclusion of 2 of us, myself and Ajay Terrier. So that is what you're seeing here. It's a one-sided election.
You say it's cooked to favor one candidate?
Absolutely. It is overcooked, I must say. Everything has been cooked to favor. We have not taken part in any of the processes. And my attention has been drawn to the fact that even the register being used is the wrong register. Right.
Wouldn't you then take the pain to go and have a look at it to ascertain for a fact?
We've been here for quite some long time. We have done all that. We have checked on all these things. You see? So we have satisfied ourselves that this is all the register that should be used. It doesn't contain even the list of council of elders and others. Well, they are determined to go ahead, and this is what our party has been reduced to.
What does it mean to the New Patriotic Party?
Well, I'm sad to say that this is a party that went to court. You all know the Supreme Court election petition, and some of the things that we complained about are being done here blatantly by our own party members. I feel embarrassed by this whole process, and I'm disappointed.
The confusion, the infighting, the brouhaha, even before this polls, someone has been arrested, been taken away, all of this, what does it mean to your party? Are you prepared for 2016? This is just within, internal. You are not able to handle it properly, someone will say.
I'm sad. As I said, all this could have been avoided. We have had a meeting as parents, and we have agreed on the 8th August as the date for the election. If for any reason somebody is not happy with that date, we can have another meeting, but there's no meeting. We received a letter telling us the elections will not come on as per the agreements reached on 8. This letter came from the Constituency Election Committee, which is the body responsible for elections in this constituency. Acting by that letter, we have told our delegates, they were asking whether there will be elections or not. Some have traveled and so on. We have not mobilized because we relied on that. First of all, I was at the meeting. Ajay Terrier was also at the meeting. So after the meeting, we told our delegates that they can travel, they can do anything because the elections will come on next week. You see, following our meeting, then a letter is brought which reiterates all the issues that we had agreed upon and saying that there will be no elections today. So in the light of that, what is happening now is taking all of us by surprise.
We were told the General Secretary was coming to sit in a meeting with all the aspirants and the constituency. As I speak, the General Secretary has still not arrived, but he's been communicating with some people on the telephone, and he has given the order that the elections should go ahead.
So you allow your delegates to vote?
No, we are not partaking in it. You see, we should have even informed the delegates to come and vote. And we were just told yesterday that the election is coming on.
So you don't have your reps at the polling station?
We don't have reps. We don't have accreditation for reps. We don't have anything. And like I was saying earlier, even the former chairman of the constituency, Mr. Alex Entry, is also a delegate for these primaries. Now, the voters register that is being used now, his name is not in there.
So you are discrediting the album?
Yes, because what it is that all the Council of Patrons they are not taking part. The Council of Elders, they can't vote because their name is not in the register. And we were invited to the constituency office to sign that there's been an exhibition. And the exhibition that we did in the constituency office included their names and their pictures. Today, his name is not, his picture is not in the album.
So this is a cooked album, you say?
I don't know what to call it, but I mean...
That's how Philip Addison calls it. He says it's more than cooked.
Okay then, we'll go by that.
I'd like to dedicate this victory to God and also to thank all the delegates in Klote Kole constituency for this resounding victory, for their confidence they've imposed on me. I'd like to say a big thank you to the police and a big thank you to the invisible forces, the party security, for maintaining law and order here. I'd like to say a big thank you to Electoral Commission as well. I'd like to thank my fellow aspirants. I'd like to thank my fellow aspirants, and I'd like to thank their supporters as well. The battle has just started, like my elder said, and it hasn't been an easy journey. But I want to say, whatever happened and whatever that I went through has rather made me more tough for election 2016. And I would like to call upon my colleagues and my elder brothers, Lawyer Philip Addison and Honorable Nia J. Taria, to all come and join this ship. Let us think about the party first. I'd like to stretch forth my arms onto them and ask them to come, let us be united and forge ahead to win 2016. I'd like to promise the constituents and our flag bearer, our national executives, that I shall not rest, that we shall work hard to see to it that Klote Kole reclaims the seats from the NDC. And we shall work very hard to get a secured win that will grant Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo more victory come 2016. Before I end my little speech, I'd like to say once more that this David here, Goliath wasn't his aspirant, it is the NDC. So anybody who supported me, please do not create any issues that will bring divisions to us. We have an election to win, and that is victory 2016.
All right, and that's a very young candidate for the NPP, but that's not all the drama, because there was a lot more within the party, as the party's primaries in the Okai-Kwe South constituency was held on Sunday despite the last-minute withdrawal of candidate Vicky Bright following a change in agreed dates for the polls. The former presidential advisor in the Kufuor regime announced her withdrawal from the race, alleging favoritism and forged educational documents by her opponent Ahmed Arthur. Sunday's poll went ahead as planned, with Ahmed Arthur emerging winner with 505 votes as against 29 for Vicky Bright. Now, even though Vicky Bright made an appearance to protest against the exercise because the ballot papers bore her name and photograph, representatives of the Electoral Commission said they could not halt the process because she did not lodge a formal complaint with the Commission. Let's turn our attention away from party politics now. A 44-year-old entrepreneur, Dr. Kelvin Taki Abia, has been installed as Ga Manche. The installation was done at Ga Mashi on Sunday morning, followed by an outdooring ceremony in the palace of Ga Jase in Dakoman here in Accra. Kidmakers confer the stool named Taki Tekochuru II on the entrepreneur. The new Ga Manche has set education as a priority under his leadership. He tells Joy News he has an agenda for children and will keep tabs on especially those who are not in school. Taki Tekochuru II also plans to equip the youth in Accra with employable skills, and we can only wish him the very best. While in health, the National Health Insurance Authority is entreating all cardholders who may be turned away from public health facilities to visit any of the credentialed private faith-based hospitals and clinics to access healthcare services. The statement follows the July 30 strike by medical doctors in the public sector and their ongoing engagement with the governments on their conditions of service. The statement also explains that NHIS cards are not only eligible in government government establishments, but can be used in the over 1,000 credentialed private and faith-based healthcare facilities. It adds that card holders may also access healthcare at the 37 military and police hospitals here in Accra and the many health centers and community-based health planning and services compounds across the country. The arrangement is to ensure that subscribers of the NHIS continue to access healthcare services while the Ghana Medical Association's negotiations with governments and strike continue. Now, the Ringway branch of the Assemblies of God Church has smoothly recovered from the drama of last week when a gunman was arrested during the service. Everything was back to normal at the President's Church and attendance was high, although there was no signs of heightened security. And just so you know, the President was not in church.
No scanners or metal detectors have been installed at the church. Members were not also subjected to body search. It was an open atmosphere as members worshipped together.
We bless you, Lord. We thank you, Lord.
Church leaders declined to comment on the incident or the security protocol for high-level government officials who attend the church. Their silence, they say, was in compliance with a directive by the Bureau of National Investigation. A member of the church, however, told Joy News she was not afraid to attend service on Sunday morning because she believed in the divine protection of God.
Today we came with joy in our house, with thanksgiving in our house, with praise in our house, but a bit also apprehensive, you know.
But as a member, this is a church is supposed to be a free area where people can come in and worship and fellowship with each other. Would you feel really uncomfortable if you come to church one day and there are metal detectors and scanners here and you have to go through them before you go and take your seat and worship God?
No, I won't feel uncomfortable because of what has happened. It's a necessary step that we should take. I think that we've been a bit, saying that this is a church place, there's freedom of worship and all that. And because of that, this guy had opportunity to come to this church 3 times with a gun, you know. So I think that if we are taking the precautions now, it's not too late to do that, and it's fine. And members, today I came thinking that there will be metal detectors on me and all that, but it didn't happen.
Though the president was not in church, Joy News gathered he usually sits at the back and not the front seats reserved for pastors. The gunman has since been sentenced to 10 years imprisonment for unlawful possession of a firearm. The pastor preached about repentance and the fact that members must outgrow some of the bad things they've been doing. So it was normal. The incident did little to keep people away from church this morning. From the Ringway Assemblies of God Church, Adelaide Arthur for joining.
And that will be it really for the AM News. I will come back shortly and tell you what is trending, what some of the news portals are reporting, and hopefully we'll get some headlines in the newspapers as well.